with the parabolic reflectors. So you have all these parabolic mirrors, and they now harness the heat and they put it to a particular point on a big tower, and that tower will actually heat water, and that water will act as a steam turbine. Or you can even do it with liquid salts. There's so many ways of harnessing the sunlight and turning it into electricity, and that's not even the only method of producing energy.
Mr. Smart Economy, if we let you go, we will not leave here today. But let's come back to Mr. Resanya. We're looking at the alternatives. Now, the Nigerian economy has been, it's about 60% focused on the oil sector, because that's the major revenue earner for Nigeria. But with the budget right now, even the budget is going to collect much, much less from the oil sector. So the government is looking at other alternatives. So these other alternatives, besides them being energy efficient, what are the other alternatives that the government can look at besides taxes?
Well, if you look at the geology map of Nigeria, which is all about natural resource, you can see that we have a diverse reserves of minerals that are in high demand globally. For example, you need to know that Nigeria has a very high reserve of uranium, all right, in the northern part of Nigeria. It's in commercial value, all right, the reserve of uranium, but it's just there and waiting to be exploited. And I'm sure the President Minister already have, I'm sure he has the map there. We have a bentonite that you use in the drilling. Okay, in the oil industry, bentonite is one of the main drilling fuel. I mean, the drilling fluid that you use in drilling for oil. And presently, most of the oil companies, they import bentonite. They tell the bentonite in Nigeria they cannot use it, all because they have to take some money out to make sure they patronize their principals out there. But the Nigerian bentonite, Nigeria can actually supply bentonite to the world for drilling. The quality of the bentonite in Nigeria is so high, so diverse. We have gold in high reserve right there. And these are minerals and materials that can be used, exploited to make sure that we bring an income to the Nigerian market. But we've not been able to do this all along because we were getting cheap money from oil. The oil money was in excess. So why look the other way? The good news is that the oil money is going down. So we need to now look deeper.
But are there alternatives that Nigeria can look at without having to go beneath the Earth's surface? Because the environmentalists say, even though he's agreeing with you, will be thinking, do we really have to go back to Mother Earth and disturb Mother Earth? Is there something that we can get above the Earth's surface without having to go under?
Well, there's so many, just like I said, about the sun, about the water. We have the waterfalls, and we have the wind, right, that we can use, get the area where we can have the higher speed to drive the turbines. And we need to do the research for our wind direction. And we have bitumen. Bitumen is on top. Bitumen is right there in high supply. And we can compete with Venezuela, right, to supply the world. Bitumen is right there, that's in Ondo State. The reserve is in commercial value. You don't need to drill at the Ondo State to get bitumen. It's right there in commercial value. All right. And beyond that, for local issues, we need to look into reduction in our energy consumption. There are areas, for example, our building design. We build for artificial ventilation. We can reduce energy consumption. We can rate buildings and their energy they are going to consume, so that we know that, so that we can reduce our local consumption and we can sell more of what we have. So these are alternatives we need to look at, and I believe the Ministry of the new minister should be looking in that direction.
Yeah, because when you were talking about uranium and some of those other solid minerals, some people have said a lot of times that the policies concerning, extraction is not so, encouraging. You find that in a state you may have some of this solid minerals, but the states cannot go ahead without, the federal government's approval. What do you think should be done in that area to make things easier?
Well, it's all about the policy direction and identifying the resource, defining the resource, and define what you can do about the resource, looking at the constitution and rolling out the policy. And I want to believe the ministry should be looking at the policy on extraction. And the Geology Society actually pushed some policy advice that we should have, and I think are driving the policy to make sure that, yes, categorize most of these minerals, probably, yes, at the level of the natural resource of oil itself, where it has to be an exclusive reserve of the national government and have to deploy this. Well, the state have to do they have to participate in establishing the fact that this occurrence, because there are some minerals that are classified as mere occurrence. They are not reserves because of the quantity and the technology to extract them. So the state can actually do their own research right now to make sure that, look, these things are not just occurrence, they are reserved, and the technology to do it is right there. So that will allow derivation, because you have a derivation policy. So they may be able to have access to a sizable percentage of the extracted material from their area, and that will support the growth in such states. And I think that's what the state should be able to do.
So we'll go back to us. True federalism, as many
true federalism, yes. But they can run through. The federal government don't have to go everywhere to do it. Each state should start by establishing the occurrence in their area and do the survey to establish the fact that they are actually enough reserve for commercial values, and that the technology that can extract. You have new technology coming these days because it's a challenge. We are crossing the Rubicon, okay, of that evolution from oil to other minerals right now. So, and it's all about the technology the people will deploy. Local, and we have a lot of Nigerians who have their brains, and you can actually design, tax these people, all right? You can see, I saw recently one of the big oil companies taxing students to go into design of alternative energy extraction.
The drawbacks of the education system, well, we don't want to go into all that. We have the main capacity, which is the brain. We have the intelligence. And it's just to deploy those guys in the right way, give them a bit of encouragement. And we are seeing some encouraging signs. Despite the delay in the cabinet being formed, and that might have been a justifiable delay. Maybe they really were just searching for the right people. But now we're seeing round pegs in round holes in a lot of areas. And this is very, very encouraging. So it won't take long to, develop the necessary infrastructure for the development of the technology that is required. Some of it is not very complicated technology. And we have the advantage. That's why this country is just so blessed. Because we have the advantage of being able to leapfrog the technologies. Look at landline. Landline never really existed properly in Nigeria. Other countries, they still have millions of landlines. They have millions of... We just leapfrog straight into the cellular phone system. Boom, like that. And we have that advantage to be able to leapfrog these technologies. Take the best, extract the best. We can have people like the Chinese did it. They sent their people out. And the Japanese, some decades ago, sent their people out to go and assess various technologies around the world, bring back the best, utilize it. We can do exactly the same thing, but we must do it and stop all this joy. It's now time to talk, and it's now time to walk that talk. There's no excuse. Having extracted this oil for so long, but having generated so much money, other countries had sovereign wealth. Look at Norway. Norway was extracting the same type of oil.
But that's not beyond the government.